So, Yahuza Ismail from Nigeria, I know this has been exciting. It has been adventurous, as they might call it. At first, for me, I have to say congratulations for making it this far. It has been a journey, it has been tough, and you've pushed yourself to the end. So, congratulations to you. So, how has molding for work impacted your life generally?
Well, thank you so much. I think I would like to start by appreciating the organizers of this great work and initiative, and as well to also send my appreciation once again for giving me the opportunity to be part of this great program. At the beginning, I never thought I can't even reach to this level to finalize. I could vividly remember a series of challenges I face regarding communications, where I am with a very limited technical communications and internet connectivity. But I think the team have been very nice and understandable in ensuring how they can accommodate everybody to ensure follow-up and effective delivery of the program. And once again, I wanted to also highlight that this program has also shaped me in knowing many things, most especially in them strengthening my capacity and knowledge on them team building, social media management, and developing some key action plan and action point. In fact, I realized that sometimes I actually have a mindset of working in the non-profit organizations on the humanitarian aspect, but now I can see some of the problem and solution in a profit ventures and how we can be able to mobilize resources at a grassroots community to be able to address some of the community needs. Thank you.
Right. So somebody is curious, for example, if you were to touch something very, very specific, that molding for work, that you can use an example for, what would that a classic example be?
Okay, I think one of the most example I can highlight around the molding for work was basically the sessions where we have facilitators making presentations around time management, around how we can be able to turn our ideas into reality. All those things are some of my basic learning and are more of the reflections that I actually take into use. Because all this learning, I usually capture it into my daily work and my daily activities. And currently, I think Molding for Work was the platform that even inspired me to make me to have or initiate my own organizations. And it has also linked me to a lot of opportunities through the opportunities that is usually being shared through our WhatsApp platform.
All right, cool. So, Ismail, I'm curious, throughout this program, did you ever demonstrated any ability to work in a team?
Yes, I have demonstrated ability to work in a team. Currently, I think I have a team of 10 to 15 persons where I directly manage them to implement some of our projects. As I highlighted to you, I already have my own national organizations. And currently, we are able to show like two different funding. The third funding is actually on the way, which I feel some of the learning and reflections from the Molding for Work Impact project, I was able to learn a lot of things, more especially working around meeting up with the deadline and timeline. I think these are some of the basic things that I was able to do, and I have already demonstrated some of my level of leadership's capacity in terms of coordinations, team management, and other key things.
You mentioned something on funding and what you are working on now. You might want just to shed a little bit light on that in terms of leadership and the funding you have access to in relation to what you are doing now with your
Yes,
own initiative.
currently I have access a funding with the Nigerian Youth Future Fund around 10,000 USD for me to carry out activity implementation at grassroots level, more around governance, strengthening citizens' participations, and youth engagement toward empowering community to respond to their issues through awareness creations and capacity building for community stakeholders and young people, and also to establish a digital platform for young people to access and continue learning things around civic engagement, civic responsibility, and community participation. And aside from that, I was able to also identify a problem within my community, which is part of my own project that I initially have a plan using the Moulding for Work activity, I leverage on that opportunity to actually develop the concept note and proposal in line with the donor priority. I also scale another project of €5,000 from the Youth Empowerment Fund for me to carry out such activity implementations around responding to waste management, addressing climate change impact within my community, and as well strengthening the capacity of young people and stakeholders in the community to take ownership in addressing and responding to climate issues. And I'm currently going to also work toward addressing orphan defecation by supporting in construction and rehabilitation of existing community toilet and toilet in the school to address the issue of open defecations. While I was working to have channeled water to 30 households within the community to reduce the impact of water scarcity as a result of climate change, a lack of sustainable water, lack of sustainable electricity within the community. Thank you.
Right. Did you ever negotiated for anything during this program called Molding for Work?
No, I didn't. I didn't negotiate for anything regarding the Moulding for Work program. But the only thing that I know is maybe within my own workspace, we have negotiations, most especially when it comes to proposal development and around budget processing and minimum. And currently, I'm having a session in my capital city in Nigeria around national determined contribution on responding to climate change. How we are having series of negotiations with community, with some of the stakeholders in terms of having the most favorable policies in addressing climate change and response within our community.
Right. During the Molding for Work program, could you state a situation when you took a personal initiative to do anything?
Yes, I think during the Moulding for Work, I took personal initiative to organize a football for peace in my community, where we reach out to over 5,000 young people. And the major objectives and aims of the activity was not only at the football, but to see how we can bring young people together and strengthen peace building among young people and community. And aside from that, I think during the Moulding for Work, this program actually exposed me more around knowledge sharing and information sharing. I was able to participate in series of online virtual engagement and also physical engagement where I share my learning and thoughts with other upcoming social change and community development workers. From what I have learned, more around leaderships, more around project management and other activities like time management and other key things. So these are some of the basically things that I was able to share and learn, share my learning with other our community members and individuals that have the passions and willing to address some of the community and societal problems.
Did you ever mobilized any resource during your time at Molding for Work program?
Like, is it resources at community level or through proposal development?
General, that's general.
Yeah, I was able to mobilize resources more around proposal development. I think it's a very good thing. And aside from that, I actually lead a specific community engagement activity, which I initiated, coordinated climate response in Nigeria and Borno, where we aim at bringing different organizations, CSO, working around responding to climate change issues within the state. So through that platform, I was able to engage in a lot of resource mobilizations for us to have an activity implementation within the state. And I believe in partnerships and collaborations. Through partnerships and collaboration, we can be able to mobilize a lot of resources and address a lot of our needs and community and address community issues.
All right. Now, did you ever ask for help during this program?
From the community or organizers, sorry.
Within the Molding for Work program, did you ever ask for any help during the program, either in phase 1 or phase 2?
Yes, I think I have asked for help. Severally, I normally reach out to my colleague, more especially Ralia. I will reach out to her at times, most especially around the deadline. I'm living in a very remote area with limited internet access. So at times, I normally reach out to her. If I get access, I will chat her up either on LinkedIn or on WhatsApp platform. Like, how far is there anything going on the platform? She will say yes. So I did not understand this assignment. How can I go forward? She will just guide me a little bit. We will have a phone call and also WhatsApp chat for me to be able to respond to some of the assignment being given by the facilitator or either by the organizers. So I think through this, I was able to have more confidence around peer-to-peer learning and reaching out to colleagues from other. And one key thing I even like more interesting about the program is we getting to connect with people from different African region. It really makes sense and added value to our work.
Right. So, in terms of your leadership capabilities, Yahuza, or during this program, tell me a situation when you demonstrated your ability to be a leader, or like that portrayed you as a leader.
Well, I think leaders are basically built are basically mates, not bond. And I think this program has exposed me in many ways, more especially around more especially around conflict mitigations and management in terms of team management spirit and also emotional intelligence. You know, sometimes as a leader, you are invested to manage a lot of people and you may be encountering a plenty and serious challenges. How do you address and how do you respond to the challenges is another thing that showcase your level of leadership and your level of ownership and your level of understanding. So I was able to build that team management spirit. And even in my community, I think I was nominated to be a community focal person around things on children educations and other key community issue where I was being able to single-handedly be nominated as a Parent Teachers Association youth focal person in my community.
Right. So, now a lot has been going on, but do you have a specific example or a situation when you solved a problem, either during phase 1 or phase 2 of the Moulding for Work?
Yes, I think the situation basically I'm more within my community. Like, I don't know for me to continue mentioning my community as it's becoming too much, but this is basically where I do most of my work. I believe that whatever changes or impact you wanted to make, it's going to be more nice and important for you to start with your immediate community before you expand to other communities and locations. So in my community, I think I was able to solve problem around issue of drought by initiating activities around tree planting campaign for us to ensure effective drought management and addressing the issue of carbon dioxide. I was able to single-handedly lead my community in mobilizing resources for us to participate in community sanitation activities to clear up the waterway and drainage basin so that water and waters can have access to flow to avoid causing or having flash flooding within my community during the rainy season. And aside from that, a lot of community issues are normally being channeled to me, where I participated a lot in addressing those key concerns within my community. However, in the local community that I work, I think we have issues around children not accessing education as a result of lack of sanitations and hygiene within those schools. I was able to engage community leaders and come up with a local approach on addressing those challenges at our own level and taking ownership and accountability to our own action. So thank you.
Okay. So, in a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest, if you were to rate this program genuinely, what will you rate it and why?
I think from my own end, I'll rate the program 4. While I would rate 4 is the program is really interesting and engaging, but I will suggest if opportunity will be given for online blended learning platform and where all the discussions and learning can be found in an archive file or document where in case a person is willing and have the zeal to learn, even if he miss, he can be able to go and learn through those existing platforms for sustainability and continual learning platform. And I wanted to also suggest if After the Molding for Work class of 2025 impact, what next? What then? What are the impact? What are the next action plan? What are the next move we're supposed to take in ensuring that all our learning are put into practice and into good use? More especially for young people, I like the fact that most of the engagement and ideas, all of the assignment are trying to look at how we can have more access to sustainability and sustainable approaches where we can be able to mobilize resources within our community locally and within ourselves. But I wanted to also suggest if we can have a learning platform that we are going to continue having interactions and opportunities are continue going to be present in that particular platform. Thank you.
Now, for you as Yahuza Ismail, rate yourself in a scale of 1 to 5 on how you think you performed during this particular program.
Well, I think for me to be fair, for me to be very fair enough, I can say 3. The reason why I picked 3 was I think I have like 2 to 3 or 4 scenarios where it becomes very difficult for me to meet up with the deadline. I have to be sending an email explaining about why ABCD has happened. I think in terms of accountability and in line with the program guidance, rules and regulations, I think I can say to some extent it has been violated to some minimal capacity. And basically, sometimes after looking at how difficult and how challenging for me to access the internet connectivity to share some of my feedback and respond to some of the assignment, at times I feel like giving up. But if I can remember how far I go, I will be willing to say, okay, since I even reached this far, I think the journey that remains is not that far. Let me bear it and try as much as I can to ensure I meet up with the timeline. Sometimes the time that is made for the program are basically work-related days. I might be in the field while some of the online sessions are ongoing. So it may become a very difficult and challenging for someone to always stick to the timing. So I think these are some of my reasons why I choose 3 for myself. Thank you.
Yahuza Ismail, I know it has been a pleasure. Now you belong to a family called Global Youth Forum. We are keen on your stories. We are deeply keen on what you will do next. Our support and our guidance still stands. It doesn't end here. But I have to say again, congratulations for pushing to the end. Now is a start of a journey that probably will help you make even more impact. So I have to say again, congratulations for making it to the end. You gave your best, and that's why you are here. So I say congratulations.
So thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the time, and thank you for bearing our ups and downs. We look forward to replicate our learning to our community and continue making impact to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Thank you too, and we connect very soon, Yahuza.